Her foot connected with my side before I even had time to brace. A sharp, bone-deep pain. My breath cut short. "Shut up, coward," her voice, cold and venomous. I looked up from the floor. The woman I once trusted stood above me, chin raised, face tight with contempt. My wife. And beside her, my daughter, laughing. At me. The laugh cut deeper than her kick ever could. A doctor appeared in the doorway, startled. His eyes flicked between us, trying to read what he had walked into. "Enough," he muttered, his tone professional, but his stare lingered too long. He knew there was more here than painkillers and blood tests. I said nothing. Silence was my shield. But inside, something fractured. Something that had been holding the pieces of me together. That was the night I stopped asking why she hated me. That was the night I began to wonder what she had hidden all along. It started small. A call she silenced when I walked in. A text she angled away from me, thumb shaking slightly as she deleted it. A new perfume that wasn't hers. And then, my daughter. Her words carried a strange edge now, a tone that wasn't natural to her. When I asked her about school, she would look past me, toward the door, waiting for her mother to arrive. I tried to tell myself it was nothing, but silence has a way of amplifying what you don't want to hear. At night I watched her sleep, her body turned deliberately away, her phone clutched under the pillow. She smiled in her sleep, a smile I hadn't seen directed at me in years. Once, I reached for her phone while she showered. She had changed the passcode. She had never done that before. Betrayal doesn't arrive with a shout. It seeps in with whispers, with little cruelties too quiet to confront. I told myself not to break, not to accuse without proof, but deep inside, I already knew. I moved carefully, calm on the surface, storm beneath. I began to collect fragments, phone records, numbers she called often, always late at night. Receipts, dinners for two, when she had told me she was working late. My daughter mentioning names I had never heard, names her mother had clearly whispered into her ear. I ordered a DNA test in secret, a strand of my daughter's hair, my own blood. I told myself it was paranoia, but the thought had taken root, and it wouldn't let go. Weeks passed. I smiled when she asked questions. I kissed her cheek when she pretended affection. I laughed when my daughter mocked me. I played the part of the fool. But every night I catalogued. Dates, times, messages half read before she snatched her phone back. The silence grew heavy, almost suffocating. Yet I welcomed it, because silence was my weapon now, and I would wait for the exact moment to strike. The envelope came on a gray morning, unmarked, clinical. I opened it alone at the kitchen table. The words were simple, cold, brutal, paternity excluded. The room tilted slightly. My daughter, my own blood, I thought, was not mine. A truth I had carried like air itself was stripped from me in a single line of sterile text. I folded the paper neatly, slid it back into the envelope, and placed it on the counter. My hands did not shake, not once. That evening I waited. She came home humming. My daughter trailed behind her, chatting about nothing. I slid the envelope across the table. No words, just the sound of paper against wood. She froze. Her hands trembled as she opened it, her face drained of color. "I can explain," she began. I said nothing. I just watched. The silence between us filled the entire room. She crumbled quickly. Tears, apologies, stammered excuses about loneliness, about choices made in weakness. Every word another dagger she twisted into herself. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't curse her. I simply asked one question. How long? She broke. She admitted more than I had expected. Years. A man I knew. Someone she had allowed into my home, into my family, while I worked, while I bled, while I trusted. I watched her unravel, and I felt nothing. Not rage, not grief, only clarity. I stood, calm, walked to the door. "You wanted me silent," I said quietly. "You got your wish." And I left her there, with the truth she could never bury. The air outside was sharp. It cut into me like glass, but it was clean, pure. I didn't look back, not once. Behind me there was only rot. I walked alone, yet I felt lighter. The betrayal had stripped me bare, but bare meant free. My daughter was not mine. My wife was never mine. The life I thought I had built was nothing but a stage play, with me cast as the fool. But now the curtain had fallen, and I was no longer playing. I learned something in that silence. Lies die when truth is spoken. But sometimes the most devastating truth is delivered without a word. So I gave her nothing. No scream, no fight, no forgiveness. Just silence. And silence was enough.